London is one of the most well-known cities in all of Europe, if not the world. It has a deep and rich history, with the name London being used as early as 47 AD by the Romans. In today's time, London has a very rich culture. The Queen, Big Ben, the London Eye, and many other attractions that make London a hot spot for traveling. However, would you actually want to plant your roots and live there? Well, today, we're going to be looking at the top 5 reasons not to live in the capital of the UK. But first, a simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We're going to be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or MacBook Pro. It's all your choice, so be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on post notifications to enter the giveaway. It's that simple. London, the great city of the United Kingdom. It has been the seat of the crown for hundreds of years and is quite possibly one of the most historically rich cities in the world. Many people love visiting London for a number of reasons. The nightlife, the sights, and the food are all good examples of why an overseas trip might be warranted as a vacation spot for you. There's also numerous universities which are great for any student wanting to study abroad. To Americans, there is a certain class to British culture that some have always been envious about. British literature has also had a very large impact on the literature and culture of today. Elton John, Jimi Hendrix, and countless other phenomenal musical artists of this generation have gotten their start in London. But today, however, we're going to be looking at some reasons why London might not be a great area for you to move to. First of all, there's the weather. If you've ever been to London, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The city of London has an annual maximum temperature of 13 degrees Celsius, or 55 degrees Fahrenheit, and an annual minimum temperature of 5 degrees Celsius, or 41 degrees Fahrenheit. Depending on where you are used to living, such as hot climates, that could be a hard adjustment to make. Summer does seem rather temperate, making it a popular time to visit the city. Believe it or not, London is not a rain-prone city. It averages close to 107 rainy days per year. The thing that drives London residents mad is the unpredictability. One minute it might be sunny, then the next rainy and snowy right after, sometimes even all within the same day. Choosing the right clothing options for the day is always a challenge when it gets to the colder seasons. 9 months out of the year are cold, and 6 of those months are when most of the precipitation happens. Also, if you suffer from seasonal affective disorder, London is not the place for you. Within the 9 months of cold, most of the days are going to be filled with gray skies. If you like the sunshine, being warm, and being able to wear what you want without the weather turning on a dime, it might be wise to only visit London during the summer months. Secondly, the people. A story in 2018 broke of a London woman that wore a fake baby bump on the tube to see what people would do. Anna Whitehouse, who was a blogger, wore the bump to make her seem as though she was 8 months pregnant, and really had no business standing up for long periods of time. She reported that only 4 out of 10 people offered their seat for the perceived pregnant woman. She had reported that most people who didn't offer their seat were either too zoned in on their phones or they didn't offer the seat unless prompted. Of course, being engrossed in your phone doesn't exactly mean you're a bad person, but the chance that 6 out of 10 people didn't see a heavy pregnant woman can imply that some folks just don't care. If you come from a place where people greet each other, then London will not be a place for you to move. A lot of folks see London as generally an unfriendly city, and that can take a toll on people who are more outgoing. There have even been campaigns to try to counter this. Talk to Me London is a common one, with the idea that people in a large city can engage with one another without being weird. The vision that they have, quote, is to build a friendlier city through encouraging small conversation between strangers. Loneliness can be devastating in London. If you move far from home, it might make you feel so tiny, and it would be hard to find friends. For some, they would be better off keeping themselves in their homes than going out and having a good time. The one thing that does seem to bring everyone together, though, is alcohol. The bar scene in London is massive, and it seems to be the only way that most people get acquainted with one another. Now, this isn't a bad thing by any means either. This can, however, create a superficial relationship with the people you meet. Third, the cost of living. The cost of living in London is dramatically higher than other parts of the world. If we compare the prices in London to, let's say, that of Houston, Texas, we can see a dramatic difference. In Houston, a gallon of milk will run you about $2.95, but it's $4.76 in London. A pack of 20 cigarettes goes for $7.84 in Houston and nearly $16 in London. A gallon of gas is close to $2 in Houston, but nearly $6.30 in London. Rent for a one-bedroom in city center goes for $1,400 a month in Houston and $2,261 in London. The most astonishing thing, though, is that the median salary for Houston residents is closer to $4,500, and the median salary in London is only $3,750. With such a high cost of living compared to the salaries made by the residents, there are businessmen who make rather decent salaries that live like university students. It seems as though just the cost alone would make it near impossible to keep your sanity, but what about the taxes? It seems that Great Britain has just not been able to get the tax thing right, no matter how hard they've tried in the past. Tax rates seem normal until you make $37,501 per year, where the tax rate is an astonishing 40%. That ends up making your actual home income more like $22,500. London is currently experiencing a housing crisis as well, and that is digging into the pockets of most common people. The amount of privately owned households is going down, and the private companies are starting to swoop in and buy them out. It's estimated that 1 million homes in the London area are at risk of eviction in the next 2 years. In Leeds, 3.4% of the future homes being built will be classified as affordable. The government has classified that only 38% of the homes in London are even affordable. With the way that the market's going, it's predicted that by 2028, homes in the UK capital will go past 1 million Great British pounds. Good luck trying to survive financially in London. Number 4, the air pollution. If you deem yourself an environmentalist or just like clean air in general, London is not the best place for you to live. In February of 2013, a young girl died due to suffering from seizures. She went to the hospital nearly 30 times from 2010 to 2013 before her death. It's now speculated that in December of 2020, she may have in fact have been the first person to die from air pollution in the United Kingdom. The girl had lived 25 meters from one of the biggest roads in the city, and she suffered from a rare form of asthma. This is a horrible thing for anybody, and especially for the family of the girl. Residents in London have also reported black mucus as a result of the increasing air pollution. This, of course, would be disturbing to anybody who blew their nose to discover that they were blowing out black sludge. Air pollution can have dangerous effects on the human body, with heart disease, infections, and cancer being some of the main causes of concern. The good news is that over the past 10 years, the amount of nitrogen dioxide in both inner and central London has been steadily decreasing. The issue has become such a rising priority to the local government, and strides are being made. Still, for the time being, for your health concerns at least, you might want to consider just not staying in London permanently. Lastly, number 5, the crime rate. In 2019 and 2020, crime had been on the rise in London. Between the fiscal years, over nearly 1 million crimes had been reported. To put that into better numbers, there are 101 crimes committed per 1,000 people. These crimes range anywhere from property theft to murder. There were close to 16,000 knife crimes alone in London, and over 21,000 sexual-related crimes were committed last year. Even though guns are banned, there were still 2,000 gun-related crimes alone. Now, this doesn't mean that you're in danger once you step foot into London, but there are some parts of town to avoid. Westminster has been deemed the most dangerous borough, with 25 crimes per 100 people, and in July of 2009, there were 3,420 thefts reported in Westminster and 930 violent crimes. In 2017, London was deemed more dangerous than New York City. If you have future plans of moving to London, it would be wise to keep your guard. All in all, London is still a decent city. The diversity and history make up so much of what makes it unique. Not everything on this list is going to affect the person who moves there, and some can live a happy life in London. The creative aspects, variety, and locations relative to the rest of Europe can end up making it a very nice city to live in. Again, it just comes down to the person. Keep in mind that these are just opinions with neutral facts to back them up. Not everyone in London is going to be unfriendly, the prices will change, and the weather can still produce sunshine. It just depends on you. Well, that's going to do it for today, everybody. We hope that you enjoy the video.